I'm on the wrong chair. It's very strange.
You want to switch?
Strange. No. It's too late now. We've begun. So I'm here with my new friend.
Hey, I'm Jeremy.
You've probably seen him before. If you were, a guitar nerd and you watch YouTube videos, the fact that you're watching this means
there's a good chance. I usually see fans of Casino Guitars watch this video.
Oh,
yeah.
There you go.
Sure.
So there you go.
Cool.
Fantastic. Man, thanks for coming to hang out.
Dude, this is so fun. I left at 4 o'clock in the morning to get here.
Good Lord. You said what, like a 5-hour drive?
Yeah, well, it's a lot of shoot, fire, aim in my world. So I was like, let's hang out on Thursday. And then on Wednesday night, I'm like, that's 5 hours away.
I was excited when you sent me the message. You were like, hey, I'm coming. It's last minute, but yeah, can I come this week? Let's do some stuff. I was like, yes.
It's so cool. Yeah, and I filmed a video this morning kind of walking through and doing a tour. But I have a question for you.
I'm ready.
Are acoustic guitars lame?
Absolutely. No, I'm just kidding. No, of course not. Acoustic guitars are awesome.
Yeah, I think because when you look at the amount of YouTube channels in particular, most of them are on the electric side.
Yeah.
And then it's like me, Tony Policastro, a couple people are on the hey, acoustic guitars are freaking cool and you should learn about them and talk about them and play them.
That is true. I think I've thought about this before actually and why I think that is true. I think there's so many gadgets that go along with electric guitar. You got your amps, you got all these pedals, you got all these things. It is easy, or for me at least, to get sucked down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, and there's this Pokemon card component, this trading card component to it of
yes.
Oh, well, I have a 1981, but I don't have a blackout version.
Right.
And but this one's holographic. And and also there's a much lower barrier to entry on that.
Yes.
Mexican Strat, couple pedals.
That's right.
Hot Rod Deluxe.
And you're in
pretty
great territory.
Yeah, exactly. Where compared, you're well, to get, so the strata of acoustic guitars is basically all plywood, terrible beginner guitars under $200.
Yes.
Then you get to a solid top guitar, $250 or so, up to $500-$700 into solid. So by the time, to get an electric guitar set up, $1,000, you could be kind of cooking.
Oh, yeah.
On the other side, Martin Rhodes series, Taylor, GS Mini,
Well, even when people come in the shop, and they're parents and they got kids, or maybe not, maybe they decided they want to play guitar. I can show them, I don't know, maybe a classic vibe and an amp, even if the things end up being the same price, like this one pretty decent, better than a beginner acoustic guitar. They feel with the electric bundle, they got stuff. They got a guitar.
Oh,
they got an
true.
amp. They got a cable. Maybe they even got a pedal, and they're the same price.
Yeah. I think that's true. And I think the other thing too, because I worked at a vintage guitar shop for a long time, and when I worked in that shop, seeing somebody with either an amp with multi-effects or a little the GX50 is what we used to sell a ton of. There's something about there's 99 presets. You could do anything.
You'll use 2, but still.
Yeah, but then on an acoustic guitar, it's a G chord.
You mean I have to know stuff to make this sound good? What?
Yeah.
No, I started playing an electric guitar.
Okay.
So, which I know is not the most traditional thing. And I see more and more of my students who start playing on electric guitar. So maybe there is also it's easier to physically push down the strings on an electric guitar in the beginning.
For sure.
So, there's all sorts of...
I think that's true. Yeah. I think either way, electric or acoustic, it's going to be an uncomfortable...
Absolutely.
That first 6 or 8 weeks.
If you can get over that hump, then you're doing well. But yeah, I do think that we're in a bit of a... Golden age is a strong term, but acoustic guitars right now in particular, they're good, man.
Yeah,
there are some fantastic ones.
I know, and it's
made.
Yeah, it's at every level. Because you start seeing the Recording King Dirty 30s are so good and so cool, and then more Recording Kings, Eastmans. As you move up, $300, $500.
Yes.
All acoustic guitars are better, and guitars in general.
Just in general, that's true. But it's easy to forget that, or for me, I guess I kind of lean electric. I play more electric than acoustic, where you are probably...
I play more acoustic than electric.
We're sort of mirrored in each other probably in that way, but...
I'm 60-40 acoustic to electric, and my hang-up with electric guitar, which is both the wonderful thing about it, but it's a hang-up for me, is that with electric guitar, it requires so much more imagination Like I'm playing electric guitar and I'm like, and there's a drummer over there, and there's a bass player.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like in my own world, which that's the other part that's amazing. You can
Right.
get just lost
That's true.
in
That's
like,
true.
for me, it's like, give me a big ambient reverb, a big delay, a volume pedal. I'm making whale noises for 6 hours.
Well, then you start plugging your acoustics into the
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, it's amazing.
And then you loop all of it.
And
And
it's,
then,
yes,
yeah. But with acoustic guitar, it takes more specific, I'm singing, I'm playing.
Right.
I'm just here. Like I'm,
that's
yeah.
true.
But yeah, I totally agree. I think overall acoustic guitars are, I mean, you have this whole boutique boom that
Yes.
took off. 80s, 90s, when would you say it really started to take off?
I'd probably say maybe like mid 90s
Yeah.
is when I imagine it, you know what I mean? Or at least maybe that's when I remember being
Yeah.
very aware of it. you know?
Yeah, like I remember I started seeing, like, because I've wanted to make a video about this. Like the amount of times that I'm at a show and I'm like, is that a Martin? What is that? And you're like trying to figure out what guitar it is. And all of a sudden you see like an abalone frog.
Yeah.
What is that? You're like, and then later you're like, it's a Froggy Bottom or Bourgeois or,
Or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I still remember. So, like, I grew up in a very small town. And Baxter and I talked about this. It was everybody had, like, you know, these old Yamahas, or like on the electric side, everything was Peavey, you know?
Yeah, oh yeah.
But
A Mississippi Marshall.
that's right. But I remember one of my best friends, we had a little band, like a kind of Christian rock band growing up in high school. And he decided he was going to buy a Taylor guitar. And I was like, a what?
Controversial.
Who? Right. You know, this was late 90s. And I'd heard of them, but I'd never seen one. I remember like making the pilgrimage with him to go. He bought a 610. They used to have one in that like
classic?
blue. Yeah. It was like the heavens parted. We were like, ah.
That is awesome.
But that's when I remember like sort of the light bulb
Yeah.
going off. Like, oh, there's this whole world of these amazing things. And now I don't even think of Taylor at all as
No, they're giant.
absolutely. But
Yeah.
back then I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's a unicorn. You know?
I grew up in a tiny town, mostly bluegrass, and so within that world, it's like Taylors are for people that couldn't afford a Martin,
Right.
and like only a Martin is good enough, which that's a funny.
This might have been the last Merle Fest. Baxter and I, we always go and sort of
Yeah.
run the Taylor booth, right? We take all of our Taylors. Taylor sends us some extras. So we got like 60 guitars at Merle
Awesome.
Fest usually. It's always like trying to get the bluegrass guys to come in and look. And usually they kind of give you the side eye glance, but this was so amazing. This guy walks by, he's got like this straw hat on and overalls, and we're like, sir, how you doing? Would you? And he just looks over, kind of cuts me off. He's like, I would never. It just keeps walking. He might have spit. I don't know.
Oh,
I
man.
would never. It was fantastic.
Dude, I remember. So, I was at a Young Life camp. I was volunteering right after college, and a friend had brought his guitar, and he had a Taylor. I forget, it was a 3-something or a 4. Had like the Dove inlays. I think it was called the Dove, and it was just this beautiful guitar. But I just couldn't. I mean, I think when you're young and dumb, you mistake confidence or arrogance for confidence. Those two
yeah.
get mixed up. And so I just said a real like just shitty thing to him. I was like, are you saving up for a Martin or just something dumb, making fun of it? And he's like, my mom prayed that the Lord would give me a guitar, and then she won this raffle at a cancer thing, and she also beat cancer. I'm like, oh. And
Great guitar. We've all done that. That's
Yeah.
picture.
making fun of gear, but it's amazing now. You start looking at like I was just in the acoustic room over here, and I played. I mean, first of all, the new, just the regular reimagined 0028
Oh my Lord.
is insane, and it's like it is better than Martins have been maybe ever. In my, like, I've played a million Martins.
I'm sure you have.
Yeah, and those are like, I mean, the D18, the 28, the 0018, the OMs, all of the reimagined stuff is just, it's the stuff that you used to have to pay $4,000
Yes.
for.
And I mean, those are inspiring guitars to pick up.
Absolutely.
I love to play those guitars. They're just so good. How do you think that affects like that boutique world we talked about when like a Martin is
Yeah.
that good? And we're not talking about, a $6,000 Martin.
Yeah.
We're talking about a triple I 28.
Yeah, like what, 28?
Yeah.
Maybe they're at 3 now. But
right in that, live in that world.
But yeah, I mean, like you're getting to a place where that level of guitar, like we've been told for 20 years that level of guitar has to be $4,000,
Yes,
$5,000.
absolutely.
And now they're here. So I think it's a great thing for lots of guitar players.
Yeah.
I mean, I think overall, the ones that have swung my opinion most are the new modern deluxes.
Yeah.
Especially those new, like the Triple O and the OM, those new 7 they just announced 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
They are coming for people that have gone away from Martin and gone towards Collings,
Yes.
Boucher,
Thompson, all that all the stuff.
all those others. I think Martin missing out on Billy Strings and Billy Strings going to Thompson is a millions and millions of dollars that Martin lost.
Agreed.
And
Yes.
it has made Thompson, like
Yeah, absolutely.
every Thompson is now worth.
That's why I know Thompson. That's
Yeah.
why Thompson is like a thing for me. I'm like, I really want to play one of those Thompsons because I see, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm going to sound just like Billy Strings.
The only difference between you and me and Billy Strings, the guitar.
That's it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You heard it here, folks.
Not having a
your top,
brilliant
yeah.
guitar playing dad,
Right.
natural talent, working really hard.
Yeah, no.
But
That stuff doesn't matter.
yeah, I think that they're closing the gap, and I think it's interesting. I think Martin kind of looked, and I commented on their Instagram. They commented back saying that I was wrong, but I think I'm right. Which is, I think that they looked at how many young players, like when Mumford and Sons was big, they sold a ton of Martins.
Oh, yeah.
But who in the last 10 years is cool young playing a Martin? And it's moving now to like Thompson, Bourgeois, all those.
Yeah, I mean, especially even in that bluegrass world, that I think probably at one point was fairly wrapped up for Martin. Yeah, it's in the last, I don't know, how long would you say? 20 years? Or, we talked about the boom and the boutique stuff in the early 90s.
Yeah, I mean, like, so what, like, Doc Watson was a Gallagher guy.
Yep.
But, like, I mean, all of those other guys were all Martins, all 28s,
they played
18s,
Martins, yeah.
forever. And then just in the last 10 years,
Okay.
15 years, you're breaking out. Yeah, it's crazy. I also think that bluegrass, like, there aren't as many young people coming into bluegrass.
That's true as well.
And there's the whole, like, new grass movement. Which that's,
Yeah. When they come in, it seems like they're a little more, it's a broader thing now.
and it's a little more like Tony Rice. Like, I remember I went and I saw Tony Rice in, like, 2006 or so. And it was like going to a Van Halen show.
Yeah.
There's a 40-minute gap where he's just going to noodle and shred. And he was putting overdrive on his guitar. And, yeah. I mean, so you start looking at, like, all those fingerstyle guys.
Right.
And then the bigger connection for me is the last 15, 20 years of, like, Dallas Green from City and Color always played old Martins. Like, he played either a 0017 or an 015.
Right.
You look at Kenneth Pattingale from Milk Carton Kids. He's playing an 015. Even Tyler Childers has moved away in the last couple of years. He used to play D28. Now he's playing a Collings. But, I mean, it's cool. I think everybody wins because there are just amazing guitars at better prices.
That's true. I agree with that, And I do love just the history of, I like the idea I have a Martin guitar. I think that's, pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Either way, I think we have pretty much come back to the conclusion. Acoustic guitars,
Yeah.
definitely not lame.
There's a whole nother, I'm getting into like the hard drugs of the acoustic guitar world, which is
going all in.
I'm getting into like like factory made guitars, boutique guitars, hand built guitars. I'm getting into hand built guitars. So like my friend Ben Paget is building amazing guitars.
Yeah.
And he's built like 11 guitars in the last year. And then there are all these guys coming out of the Gallup School. There's all kinds of other young guitar builders. I mean, like, look at like Halland guitars. They start at like 20 couple grand. And that guy, like, he's busy for 6 years. Like, there's a huge waiting list. So there's this whole world of like hypercar equivalent acoustic guitars.
Do you just see like a mind-blowing gap between those guitars and like the boutique stuff?
The law of diminishing returns is firmly at play.
Yeah.
$100 guitar to $500 guitar, light years different.
Not in the same galaxy. Yes.
Around $2,000, $2,500, I think most guitars, that's like the closest to like money spent and quality you're getting.
Right.
And then you're getting 1%, 0.8% better. each $1,000 you spend. So for me, like my Paget, that's a $5,000 guitar.
Right.
But I mean, it's mahogany back and sides, Italian spruce top. But it's basically an OM18. It's very similar to that. And then you look at an OM18, you're like, oh, $2,400 or 20 whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's an amazing world to start to dig into. And you see people that are just like fully committed to like answering the one question of how good can a guitar be?
Right.
And
there's something amazing about who's building your guitar. Like you can talk to him. Like that like this is sort of his quest and you're a part of it because you sort of bought into that and you have one of his guitars and you could probably email him or maybe call him. You know what I mean? Like that, I don't know. I think that's worth something.
I now have 3 guitars that are built by friends.
Yeah.
Like a Husson Dalton. I have a Rude from New Orleans. I mean, it's amazing. But at the same time, like I take my guitar back to Ben and Ben's like, well, let me just keep it for a week. Right. And then I come back, he's like, well, I took the bridge off and I sanded it down and I refinished this thing and I did some fret work. I was like, I just needed a pickup in it. But it's amazing. So, I mean, on my channel, I always talk about like the gift of guitars is music and friendship.
Yes.
So like, you will make new music and you'll make new friends.
That is true. Well, we would not be sitting here if it was not for
and we're not
these
friends.
Crazy guitar things. Oh, ouch. Dang.
No, I said we are now friends.
Oh, I thought you said we're not friends.
And we're not friends.
It wounds me.
Oh, that did not go how I thought.
No, now we're friends.
We are friends, beard friends.
We're about to eat pizza.
It's true.
How could you be better friends than that?
It's true.
Play guitar, eat pizza.
Guitars, pizza.
Talk on YouTube.
Cool.
So there you go.
Dude, thanks for having me.
Dude, thank you for coming, man. Anything else? Any other parting wisdom, words, thoughts?
I don't know.
No. Buy acoustic guitars. Check out.
They're not lame.
All of them. Cool. They're not lame. Whether it's a Taylor or whether it is I don't know, what's the craziest hand-built guitar?
A Greenfield.
A Greenfield. There you
Olsen. Go. Yeah.
I've never played an Olsen.
Ooh.
I would like to play an
Dude, let's go to Nashville and play some Olsens. They're hard to find. He retired.
I know.
But yeah.
All right. Well, there you go.
Cool.
Hit like and subscribe. Thank you again for coming on. Go check out Jeremy's channel. If you haven't, if you've been living under a rock and you don't watch great YouTube channels, then come on out from under your rock. Go subscribe to his channel because it's fantastic stuff. We will see you next time. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.